Welcome to another episode of Wouldn't It Be Awesome?
The show where nerds nerd out. I'm Q.
And I'm A. And today's topic is one that everyone can feel here. Spoiler alerts, if you haven't seen Endgame, obviously. We're going to talk about spoilers throughout this series all the time. So
you know what? Can we set a moratorium like right now? Can we just set something in stone? Once something has been out for like 3 months, there's no more spoilers. There's no more spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen it at this point, it's your own problem. People are already talking about it.
Especially a movie where everyone should just see it.
And where Marvel had established like a set
right.
no spoiler thing, and they lifted the spoiler ban.
Lifted it. Yeah.
Once they lifted it, like we don't have to spoiler alert.
Maybe you're right. Yeah. Spoiler alert has been lifted. Tony Stark is dead.
Oh my god. It still hurts to hear that.
He died. He saved the planet. He laid down on the wire. He made the sacrifice play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the question is the future of the Iron Man franchise. And I think what we need to have here and what we need to recognize is that the Iron franchise is what's going to have to continue. Iron Man may be dead, but we could still have other characters pick up the Iron Mantle.
So how do you continue the Iron Man franchise without Iron Man?
Wouldn't it be awesome if Tony Stark becomes the AI of the new Iron suit? So Robert Downey Jr. continues to work with Marvel Studios, but in a manner that he doesn't really have to get on set and put on the costume and do the high wire stuff and all this. He could do what we're doing. He gets to sit in front of a microphone with a little video screen, and guess what?
So you're saying Tony Stark, especially given now that Jarvis has become Vision and also died, but we have Friday. So you're saying that Tony Stark replaces Friday?
Yes.
Now, if that's the route we go, here's an interesting question. Jarvis was a unique personality, right? That was constantly learning. So is this going to be like an Arnim Zola type of AI where he is still kind of existing and still learning and still able to do things, or is this going to be just like a flash in time? Like this is the Tony Stark ended at this moment, the AI takes over here, and it's just what Tony Stark always was.
So here's where I see it. I see it starts there. It starts as a map of his consciousness. Behind the scenes, we learn that Tony Stark has mapped his consciousness, the way that like Zola did, and connect the dots here. In Endgame, Tony Stark goes back in time and talks to his father, right? And in that scene, if you watch, when Tony Stark's rooting around for what's he trying to find there? The Tesseract. His dad comes down there,
right,
looking for Zola. He actually is asking for Zola.
I did see something where apparently if you watch one of the screens, you see a flash of Zola. I watched the film again, and I did not see that flash. While specifically looking for it, I didn't see it, so that may not.
I think he's like way down the hallway on a screen or something.
I have a very large TV.
Yeah.
So,
but
anyway.
Either way, the idea is the connection is there because Howard Stark worked with Zola. That's clear now. Because he came down there asking for him.
So you're saying the ability to pull off what you're saying, the ability to download someone's consciousness into a computer system has been established as a possibility.
And Age of Ultron also showed us this because we basically take Jarvis and we're using the Mind Stone and we're combining all these things. We're mapping out brain patterns, and we're taking that consciousness and then putting it into the Vision. So the same concept here is that we're mapping Tony Stark's consciousness. And in the vein that in Endgame, after he dies, the funeral scene, we see this video message of him. And I think he tells his daughter, "I love you 3,000" in it, right?
Yes.
And so, heartbreaking. So that kind of thing where it's a video of him, that's the Tony Stark that carries on. And so Robert Downey Jr. can come in and film these scenes and have an interactive personality with whoever picks up the Iron Mantle, whether it's Ironheart or something else like that.
And can also still, barring any actual repercussions to the recent Sony Marvel split with Spider-Man, he can also still be that fatherly figure to Spider-Man within the suit.
Sure. Or if it's, let's say, hypothetically, it's Shuri, T'Challa's sister, who becomes Ironheart, right? That's a theory that's popular right now, kind of in the vein of Riri Williams, instead of Riri, who's this character that nobody knows in the movies.
Take established
Take someone that everybody loves. Shuri is an amazing character, and she's, incredibly intelligent. She might be the perfect person to say, okay, instead of just this, suit that goes onto us, let's go full on. Let's take this Stark technology and let's see what I can do with this. And she becomes Ironheart, and she maybe activates, maybe by accident, this uploaded consciousness that Tony Stark's put in there.
I think you just came up with an entire other episode for us to do. Oh, wouldn't it be awesome if Shuri basically took over where she became the smart person who puts everything together, combining Stark tech with Wakandan tech,
and yes, and vibranium and stuff.
God.
Oh yes,
that you'd be talking about potential there to do amazing things. So that, I think, may be another episode that we might
want to come back to that one.
What could Shuri pull off?
Maybe we'll circle back to that one. Keep your eyes out for that. I think it would be cool. Whoever picks up the Iron Mantle, my preference would be Shuri. I actually think that would be super entertaining, and but whoever it is can develop sort of this relationship with their AI, kind of like Tony Stark had with the original Jarvis. He would banter with Jarvis. He would talk with him and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now we have, instead of just a voice, but like a video of Tony Stark doing it, and this would do a lot of things. It would solve a lot of problems. Number one, it would solve the problem of Robert Downey Jr., the actor, kind of saying, okay, it's been over 10 years now. I'm a little tired from, all the production.
All of this. And he's not the youngest man on the planet anymore either.
So he gets to have a little bit more of a light workload, but still come in. It also solves the problem of carrying on the franchise without him, because now we will give it to another character, but we have this familiar face and familiar sound of his voice, this familiar style that gets to continue in this franchise.
That would be fantastic.
And that would be fantastic. And then it would be really cool to you could just have some fun details where like this consciousness maybe doesn't even, he knows he's not the original Tony Stark, but he doesn't know that Tony Stark died. He still thinks of himself as Tony Stark, and then when he learns, he downloads all the information of what's going on right now. Maybe he was mapped around Age of Ultron time, and so, oh my God, all this stuff happened, and Thanos did come back, and I died. That might be a hard thing for a computer brain to kind of process, and it's kind of interesting to see that.
Yeah, it depends, and that's kind of why I asked what level of consciousness is this AI going to have, because it will make a difference. Mm-hmm. If it's a fully conscious thing, where it's fully aware of everything that happened, it's aware that it only exists because the physical form of Tony died.
Right.
But Tony, being who he is, would totally pull an Ultron move and build himself a body. He would build himself some kind of robot body to walk around in, so he's not stuck in the computers all the time. Like that.
The egotistical kind of guy he is like, I could see that. However, I think we need to have some time without him. And I think this might be a good way to bridge the gap. And if we make him a consciousness that does evolve and learn and change and kind of have a character development in and of itself, what we can then do down the line, way down the line, is we can use that consciousness and put it back into a body, probably a different actor, and now we've got Tony Stark back in human form, and that's your way to reboot the character with a different actor maybe 10 years from now when it's time to reset it, without having to literally erase everything we've done already. now we take this consciousness, we put it in a different actor who's got to be good enough to channel it. Unfortunately, you will have to kind of be this Tony Stark.
If I may just interject quickly, I volunteer to play this part.
Oh, you volunteer? Q wants to play this role. Anybody who wants to volunteer?
Anyone who knows me, I'm volunteering. So if you have the right connections and can put me in touch with the right people, we need to do some talking.
And do some, yeah.
But so to recap,
yes,
wouldn't it be awesome if you could continue the Iron Man franchise with Robert Downey Jr. as an AI character?
Indeed. I actually think let's talk about the likelihood now. The WIBA scale, right? I actually think this is probably an 8 or 9 out of 10 likelihood. I think this is a strong possibility. That's where I put it. What do you think?
I have a little less confidence than you.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this down at about a 3 on the WIBA scale.
Really?
I do believe that Robert Downey Jr., as much as he has thoroughly enjoyed himself making these films, I think he is he's done. He will always be Iron Man to us because Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr., is Tony Stark. They're all one and the same.
He did redefine that character, yes.
So we will never see it otherwise, but I think for him as a human, as an artist, it's run its course. It's time for him to move on.
So that's where we'll leave it here.
But
yes,
I will say it would be pretty awesome.
It would be awesome. Thanks, guys. Keep your eyes peeled for maybe another episode about Shuri or anything else like that. And we'll be back next time with some more ideas of what would be awesome.
Any thoughts or ideas on possible future things that we can talk about? Please throw them in the comments below.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
always, as always, hit that like button, subscribe, put the bell on. You know the deal. Bing, 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 bing. Catch you next time.